Good evening, everybody. This is a meeting of the Legislation, Codes, and Regulation Committee. Before we take roll, I would like to acknowledge all of our first responders heroes tonight with us, and also congratulate Councilman Schaber on the birth of a granddaughter today.
Yes,
so
yes,
congratulations. Call roll, please.
Mr. Dickel?
Present.
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Schaber?
Here.
Okay. Summary proceedings. We have minutes from 2 different meetings. Gentlemen, do you have any comments? Or
I move we accept as submitted the corrected revised versions that were on our desks when we got here.
And the corrections were mostly names.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Shaver had a C in his name, and several places Mr. Schaber was listed as Schober.
Well, okay.
They've been corrected.
We came here,
Okay. Is there a second on that?
Yes.
Okay. Call roll, please.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Schaber?
Yes.
Okay. There being no old business that I'm aware of, we have new business. Discussion on annual, item 1.
Annual liquor permit renewals.
Okay. Is there anything that any of our first responders, fire, police, any objections we have to any of these permits? Anybody on the council?
I am not aware of any.
I do not have any questions regarding this, no.
Yes, sir.
Aaron Rollins, Councilman at Large. I believe in years past, we've been provided a call log. Can we, we've been provided, have
Yes.
not been provided.
Would you like my copy?
Yeah.
It is.
Handouts have been become a thing that we only get at the time of meetings for some reason.
Okay.
Not sure why.
Any other comments or concerns in this matter?
Should we let this sit another committee cycle to give other council members a chance to look over the permit holders and see if they have any objections to any of them?
If you don't mind, Chair, I would like to do that as well because I haven't even had a chance to look over this. We just received it today.
Okay, so we will put this back on the agenda in 2 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any other concerns?
we can't hear you back here, so.
Okay, I apologize.
It's really cool you guys are gonna have stuff
It's a full house, so, yeah. All right, if there's no other concerns, this meeting is...
Don't adjourn.
Oh, sorry,
Other business.
I apologize.
Yes.
We're not, okay. So go ahead, other business?
Yeah, if I could ask the mayor, I believe I saw you quoted in the paper saying that you may get rid of the tall weeds and grass program. And then I believe what little bit I could see in the email we got today that line has no dollars in that fund. Do you need this committee to do anything? Because that's an entire chapter in our city codes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, the city code section, it's
612 or
612
672?
exists. Whether the line item is funded and whether the program is funded doesn't have anything to do with the codified ordinances of the city of Marion. It's probably a better question during the finance committee meeting. City code's not going anywhere.
So, okay, that's, I think is my point. If we have no one to cut the grass, the incoming council people will get tall weeds and grass complaints. What do they do? Because it's the city code. And it's a legislation and codes and regulations committee topic that we should address if we're getting rid of it.
Where did you read that article at? I didn't read it. And is that quote accurate? Is the funding being cut from the tall weeds and grass program?
We'll get to that during finance, but it's not funded for next year, no.
Okay.
So if it's not funded, we're not upholding our sworn oath that we will uphold and enforce all the city codes, laws, and ordinance of the city of Marion.
I think if money's available, we'll do that.
I feel sorry for the incoming council members when you get, because tall weeds and grass is the #1 call, second to potholes. And if you have no program and it's not funded, you will look like the bad guy. And I'm just simply here tonight trying to get ahead of it and get a plan. Do we send it back to the health department? I can't really remember why it came to the city. The health department may have said they don't deem it as a health violation. I can't remember, but it is in the city, on the city's books to do.
Luckily, you won't be here next year to take those complaints, but we will do. So, we'll be here to take the complaints. There's only so much money, Mr. Schauber, and we have to decide where that goes. So, when we sit down and work on the budget like we have, and we talk about essential services for the city, then some cuts have to be made. And I stand by that cut that we're going to make in that program.
I understand that,
And I'm willing to take the calls.
and I'm just trying to get ahead of it, help you guys, whether you want to take it personally or not, or be offended or get upset. I really don't care.
I'm not offended or upset.
Oh, okay,
I appreciate your help.
but you will get these calls, and you should do something now. There's several things we should have done over a year ago that we haven't. And when we wait to the last minute or when things are too far gone, the fix is even more difficult, so.
Anything else? Any comments from the public? Okay, I apologize for my earlier gavel, but the meeting's over. Okay, adjourned. Am I moving chairs, sir?
That you set up for that.
He's here.
I'll shuffle around. Yeah.
Are you, sir?
All right, it is 6:38, and I will call our second committee to order tonight. It's Marion City Council, Public Utilities Committee. Clerk, if you could please take the roll.
Mr. Ratliff?
Present.
Mr. Dickel?
Present.
Mr. Barr?
Present.
And we have two summaries of proceedings tonight. Has the committee had a chance to read those two summaries?
I have.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. If you could take the roll for adoption of the two sets of minutes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
We have one item on old business tonight, and it's resolution opposing Columbia Gas's request to increase gas service rates and requesting that the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio deny the utilities request. And this came to us, in fact, exactly 7 days ago, came to our attention last Monday, right before City Council meeting, that Columbia Gas has applied for a 21.61% increase for gas services. This comes on the heels of the electric company the water company just applying for, I believe, a 16% increase to supply water service as well. This is the first step that the city can take to try to combat that, which is a resolution opposing it. At that point, we can ask the Public Utilities Commission to deny it. Typically, what we do is even retain outside counsel to go and represent us at hearings in front of the PUCO. And, you know, I've said this many times, what happens, I just think that this is a game. They really need a 15% increase. They apply for a 21 and they get a 17, and everybody acts like everybody's done really good. And so this is the first step, though, we can take to helping to either reduce or deny the 21% increase. Any questions or comments from the committee? From the administration? Members of council or the audience? Seeing nothing, what are the wishes of the committee?
Make a motion that we send to full council with recommendation to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and second to send to council with a recommendation to approve. If you could take the roll for, to send on to council.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Dichtel?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
All right. That gets sent on with a 3-0 recommendation to approve. Anything to come before this committee this evening? Seeing nothing, we are adjourned.
I figured you'd be the only one to
Well, there ain't a lot to say.
copy the.
You guys are updated now, or do you want to get them when we get to that part for the budget?
I guess either way, whatever you want to do.
This is for public utilities, I'm going to sign.
(6:42), we'll call finance to order. Clerk, take roll, please.
Ms. Lang?
Here.
Mr. Rollins?
Present.
Mr. Ratliff?
Present.
First thing on the agenda is proceedings of summaries from previous meetings. I have some corrections that need to be made, so I would recommend that we hold off on approving these.
I'm good with that.
And I will get with the clerk and go over the corrections with you. Moving on to old business. Item number 1, audits. We have an update on the 22, 23, and 24 audit. And clerk, if you would please, I know I'd ask you to remove the 21 audit from there. If you could please remove that from the agenda. Ms. McGinnis?
22 is in progress. We do have a in-house work week next week. I don't believe we have a date or a time. I just know that, or on the week of the 15th, I'm sorry. I don't believe we have a date or a time, but as soon as we find out what that is, I will let you know. I've not gotten any additional requests at this point for any more documentation. I believe the mayor sent out an email to Brian Mosier at Clark Schaefer Hackett asking if there was going to be a delay in 22 because of the delay of the 21. That was confirmed. We're looking at a January 31 completion date.
Okay, is there any questions?
No.
Okay, not moving forward to item number 2, penalties and appeals, the status.
I have not received any additional correspondence from the IRS or any additional correspondence from our attorney, Voorhees, about the penalties that are currently outstanding.
Have you emailed them to see to ask them if there's anything going on?
I have not, because any communication with them results in a bill, and I'm trying to keep that number down.
Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
Moving on to item number 3, Finance 71, OPWC Fund. Clerk, if you'll read, please.
Ordinance approving additional appropriations in the receipt of OPWC funds from the state of Ohio for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
So this is approving the engineering department to receive funding from the Ohio Public Works Commission. The funds will be used for construction on the Garfield Street 24-3S and Girard Avenue 24-2S and Brightwood Drive 24-1S. Miranda, can you please verify these GL codes for me? I've not had a chance to look at those to see if they are correct. They are 502, 5010, 5443.
Yes, that's correct.
Are there any questions?
One of the reasons we held this up was we wanted each of these broken out, correct?
Right.
Was that
The-
sufficient?
The dollar amount and then the
Correct.
total.
I have nothing further.
Mr. Schaber?
Yeah, Third Ward City Councilman Jason Schaller. We have these funds in our accounts. Is that what I'm to understand?
If I may. The way that the OPWC payments work, OPWC writes the check directly to the vendor, so the funds are never actually received by the city. OPWC sends them directly to who's done the work. We just have to log the activity in our books.
That's right. Thanks.
Recommendations of committee?
Send to council with a recommendation, no recommendation.
One quick question before I second it. Under the first whereas, if we didn't receive any of the funding, should we have different wording? Because the first whereas says that we're authorizing, the city council has approved the engineering department to receive funding.
If you're asking me, nothing's changed. You may have previously authorized the receipt of the funding. So it's carried forward to this point in time now that most of the work's done, the money's getting paid, it just carries through, so nothing's changed. It's okay to leave it there, because you did authorize the receipt of the money previously.
Okay. I'll second it then.
So this is to send on to council with no recommendation. Clerk, take roll, please.
Ms. Lyon?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Rattler?
Yes.
Moving on to item number 4, ordinance 2026-001, budget number 2. Clerk, if you'll read.
An ordinance to make appropriations for salaries and benefits and other expenditures for all funds during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026.
So this is the second budget after the departments have made a 10% cut in each department then.
Madam Chairwoman, that's correct. This would be an updated, amended budget from what you received 2 weeks ago. I think originally the budget that was submitted to you was over $19 million in the general fund. I first would like to thank all of my staff, all the senior staff, especially Chelsea, for all of the hours that they put in between that time and now, with all the department heads and all the department heads that spent time on their own trying to whittle down their budget and sharpen their pencil. We had, the reason you didn't get this before now is we had our last meeting today, as we had a couple today, the last one being at 2 o'clock, where we were going over the numbers again to make sure that everything that we're proposing to you is accurate. I wanted to kind of explain, everybody knows that I went to the department heads and asked for a 10% reduction in the budget that they had submitted. They had until Wednesday to present those. So moving into this new budget, we were able to balance the budget with what the auditor's office is predicting that our revenue will be for 2026, which will be $15,400,000. And we're coming in with a budget presented to you tonight at $14,817,600. We did that by a lot of things in addition to the 10%. We took out the Economic Development Director position. We reduced our transfers out to transit and the pool and police and fire. We eliminated funding for Downtown Marion Inc. We canceled our MORPC subscription. Took out funding for the High Grass Department. Cutting out things like travel and training. And again, this was done by, I had all of my department heads should be here tonight. Should you guys have any questions about where they cut exactly. But again, I would reiterate that it was a lot better for them to sharpen their pencil than me try to go in and do to their department what I think's best, because I don't know. I don't know the senior department as well. I may know the police department a little better than other departments just because I've been there. I don't know the fire department as well, but they do know it. And they brought back a budget tonight with reductions that they made and the further reductions that we made that I think that we can present going into 2026 and be able to fund all of those departments. And as of now, nobody is being laid off. So we do have a reduction in staff, but that reduction in staff in these different departments comes in the way of vacancies that are not being filled, retirements that are not being filled, that type of thing. So, so far, we've been able to do it without any layoffs of current personnel. I will caution everyone that any further cuts, there's really nothing left that we can see in these budgets as far as anything above what personnel would be to be able to cut. So these guys are going to be running bare bones for 2026. I can't promise you for sure we won't come back toward the end of the year if something happens or there's an emergency that happens. We do have a little padding in what we have budgeted for now, but things come up. We all know boilers come up, the air conditioner comes up. Whatever happens, things come up, and there's generally something that we have to pay for throughout the year. I wanted to thank Andrea in the utility billing department. Somebody had asked last week how much that we have done. When 2 years ago, one of our priorities was to start collecting money that we had not collected in a long time from our trash, from our sanitation. And to date, this year to date, we've taken in $306,999 that we normally would not have taken in because people didn't pay their bill.
That was on the pink sign program?
That was on the ink sign program, that's correct.
So, yeah, thank you for that. I had asked about that a week
So
or
that,
so
so
ago.
those are the numbers, and she's been keeping those numbers throughout the year, because we'd like to know what we're bringing in that we normally wouldn't have had. So, if, we should be fortunate enough to move this through the council, hopefully tonight. There's always changes we can make. Nobody's perfect. If somebody sees a mistake in anything that we've done within this budget, feel free to ask myself or Chelsea or Mike or Rob or the chief, either one of the chiefs. They all spend a lot of time trying to reduce their budgets without the loss of personnel. And so far we've been able to do that. And just a reminder, we meet with the state on Wednesday. So everything that we've done here in presenting a balanced budget, I'm sure will be applauded by the state. But who knows what they're going to say in addition to what we've already done. So this budget does not touch any negative line items that we currently have. It doesn't help make those whole. At some point, the state may come in and set us up on some kind of payment plan to start making those negative line items whole again. But they have not done that yet, and that is not included in this budget. I certainly am open to any questions that you guys might have. A copy of this budget will be provided to all the council people that are here tonight. She made enough copies for everybody. If somebody else wants it that we haven't given it to after tonight, we can supply it electronically. But again, this is where we're at. It's obviously our room's full for a reason. We want to keep all these people here. We want to keep them working. We want to keep the city safe. And to the best of our ability, this is what we've come up with. I think that the auditor's office, that we've worked with them on this and had discussions about where we're at with the budget and what the projections are for carryover for the year. And I think at this point, this is the best we can do with the cuts that we've made. And again, I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. And I know it may take a while for you guys to peruse what we put in there. But if at all possible, I would like it to see it come out of committee and go to council tonight. We can still make changes as we move forward with the readings. If we see a mistake that needs corrected or you guys want something put back in, like I said, we do have a little bit of a cushion. And council may feel strongly about putting a certain program back in. When we mentioned the tall grass tonight, I know that and speeding are two of the most complaints we get during a year. And we had already anticipated looking at the end of the first quarter to see where we're at. And if we're continuing to do well, or we're able to get more revenue somehow, and some of the efforts that we're going to take in the coming months to try to get more revenue, then we may be able to put that back in the budget before summer gets here or before spring gets here in full bloom. So, but right now, it's not an essential service, and we felt like it could be cut from the budget.
I personally want to thank every department head for coming together and helping us work through this solution. I know this isn't the best solution, but right now it's the best we've got. There is a significant reduction in the budget. I don't know if you recall last year at this time, 2024, we actually did a budget by quarter. And we worked through that. And the mayor's, I think, is probably on point that again, maybe at the quarter or the half of the year, we might see revenue coming in. Expenses aren't our only problem. Income is also our problem. And if we reduce expenses, we need to raise income. And when I say raising income, I don't mean necessarily through taxes, but there are areas where we can generate income that we are not doing at this time. So we will be looking at, I will be looking at those areas and trying to find solutions to bring more income in. And we'll be meeting with department heads to try to accomplish that, because income is as important as expenses. Do not want to see anybody laid off or lose their job. My goal is to work bare minimum. I know it's tough, but we're all going to have to do it. I know we have not had an opportunity to review this. This committee, myself, this right now is the first time we are seeing this budget. If committee agrees, I would like to make a motion to at least move it on to council. So full council has the opportunity to review and have input at the first meeting. So I make a motion to move this on to council with no recommendation.
Can I ask a few questions?
Sure thing.
First of all, thank you for the update on the pink sign program. I can't find it right now. I was pouring through the budget performance report last week, which led me to the question, how is that revenue being applied in the budget performance report? Because I can't find it right now, but I swear there was like 168,000 in revenue generated to the sanitation line item in the budget performance report.
I'm not sure that you fully see it with that, with it being, is it like a monthly or the year-to-date, I guess?
This would be the fiscal year-to-date
Yeah, it was
through
year-to-date.
10/31.
Okay.
And I was thinking it was 123,000.
123,000?
That's what I was thinking it was.
Yeah,
I
so
don't have it. Do you-
I just want to make sure that our revenue is being applied appropriately, one. Two, I guess, thank you for the projected revenue. Do we have a kind of projected revenue budget that we can see?
I'm not sure I'm following what you're saying. Like projected revenue monthly or what?
Yeah, so in the past, what we've gotten, very similar to our expenses, we've gotten a revenue line item that showed exactly where our projected or estimated revenue was going to be coming from
And
the next
usually,
year.
there was a comparison by year. 22, 23, 24 projected.
Yes. So I guess I'm asking, how did we determine 15.4?
So I would have to defer that to Deputy Auditor Watts. That's where that figure came from. He did provide a spreadsheet, at least during our meeting, he provided a spreadsheet that showed 23, 24, 25, and 26.
Okay.
And what those years were. And it fluctuates from 15.7 and 23 to 13.7 and 25, but not for the full year probably.
Correct, that would have been through
Probably
October.
done at the end of November or
Yep.
October or whatever.
Yep.
And then he projected the 15,547, 375. So I don't know if he's using historical data to do that, or
Okay.
exactly how he came up with the figure, but that's what I have to go by, is what they're giving me.
Yeah, so I guess that's what I was looking for. In the past, we had kind of broken down, this much was being generated through income tax, this much was being generated through fees and
Right.
miscellaneous, et cetera, so.
I'm sure that's something we could ask the auditor's office for, to provide, by next meeting, by Monday.
Yeah, 'cause it
We could email that out.
also had like property tax revenue.
Yeah, it had,
It had everything on it.
correct.
Something I've asked past several years, and the last time was actually 4 months ago, and we were told that we were going to get follow-up. and I didn't follow up until tonight, but for the auditor's office specifically, what is the plan to increase revenue? I mean, you are the office that drives that. So what steps do you plan to put in place in your department to increase revenue?
I'm gonna be honest, that has not been something I've been thinking about lately, but I will get down with my staff and see what steps we can take moving forward. I can definitely get the revenue comparison out to you. I can go upstairs and get it out tonight so you have it. And that'll give us at least an idea of what revenue has looked like over the last several years, as well as year to date, and we can kind of see what needs to improve, what needs to go up, and that'll give us an idea of how to move forward.
You know, I don't want to sit up here and tell you how to run your department, but some things, as a soon-to-be citizen, that I am looking for an answer is that you are going to start partnering with the health department that issues permits for food trucks to make sure we have tax returns from every food truck that came inside of the city. What I'm looking for is that you're going to partner with the Popcorn Festival Committee that has every vendor that came to the Popcorn Festival to make sure we have a tax return from every person who earned money inside the city. I think that what we need to do is start, if we have a streets contract that we are paying a contractor, we don't make sure that the employees that worked inside the city, albeit for a couple days sometimes or for a month sometimes, file a tax return for the money they earned inside the city. We don't partner with the county to make sure that every attorney that works, that lives or has an office outside of the city that does a court-appointed case files a tax return for the money they earned inside the city. We don't partner with the Palace Theater. We don't partner with any school of a vendor that came in or a fundraising company that came into our city schools. We don't partner with the schools that have programs who come in that earn money inside the city. We don't partner with the people that have the Coliseum. And we are missing annually thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of money that we don't ensure the tax returns come in. And it's really easy to just go after like low-hanging fruit, and I know that that's harder and that's more labor intensive to go after the things that I'm talking about, but those returns are lawfully due us. And we don't make sure we get any of them. And I would almost guarantee that we don't get all those. And so, it's easy to sit here and cut, but we have the ability to increase revenue off the backs of people who actually owe it, and we aren't doing it. And it's really frustrating. I do taxes, and I missed a return of somebody that does court-appointed work in Delaware. The city of Delaware sent them a letter that said, we didn't get a 24 return from you. They don't live in Delaware, they don't have an office in Delaware, but they did work and they got a 1099 from the county of Delaware. And so the city partners with them and makes sure that they get a tax return. I just got contacted today from somebody who got a subpoena from RETA, who's a regional taxing authority, because they hadn't filed taxes in several years. So I don't know how they have ability to get information that we don't, but it's out there. It has to be available to you. If it's available to cities in up and around Cleveland, if it's available to Delaware, if it's available to Bucyrus, it has to be available to Marion.
I I agree. Yeah, I'll definitely see if there's somebody I can reach out to. I'll look into reaching out to somebody at the city of Delaware to see what resources they have. Maybe there's something they can direct me towards, and then we'll see what we can present in the next few weeks.
Just curious, you spoke of ideas to generate additional revenue. What do you have in mind?
Sanitation department, income tax department primarily. And most of the stuff that I was going to address, the departments have already cut, so, in the expenses. And what Mr. Ratliff was saying, food vendor permits, people working inside Marion City, not living in Marion City, generating revenue in Marion City, but not paying taxes, income tax to Marion City. And I have had conversations with the mayor about those items, and will continue. Also, and that being said, we have the meeting on Wednesday with the Attorney General's office, and I would think, auditors, that you would have an income plan to present that day. Or is it just
No,
expenses?
so that's part of what that day is our first initial meeting with them, to go over the letter that was sent to us and placing us in fiscal caution, and some of the steps that they would like us to see us do with reducing expenses and increasing revenue. They led me to believe that they'll have some ideas that they'll throw on the table, and we in turn have to come up with that plan within 60 days.
After Wednesday's
After
meeting?
Wednesday.
Okay,
Well,
I
it's 60
apologize.
days from the date we got the letter.
Okay, I
So-
apologize, Miranda.
Yeah, so that's what, that, we've already met and talked about some of the things we're going to do or look at to kind of bounce off of her when she's here Wednesday. And then it's my understanding she'll present some things to us too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if I may, too, Madam
Yes.
Chairwoman. Last Monday, I had asked if the 10% was an across-the-board, every single department. And from what we had in our packet to what we just received tonight, I don't see where every department did it at 10% across the board. Is that something we lost along the way, or?
I don't think it was something lost along the way. When you have a department that only has one person in it, it's going to be difficult to do that 10%. Meaning a very small department, such as my office, or and I could cut all supplies in Chelsea's office. We could cut everything and still not get to 10%. And I mean, we have like 2 line items, salaries and supplies, or something like that. So to say that every department did 10% would be inaccurate. That there
Okay.
was a few very small departments that just can't do the 10% because of the budget they have.
So, I mean, just looking at a couple would be, and again, this is very small and my eyes are not what they were. City Council, for example, line item 1018, originally had a budget of $249,000, and the budget we have in front of us tonight says $243,000, which would not be 10%. I know 7 days ago at the city council meeting, I specifically asked this, and I said, what about council? Who's working on that?
And by ordinance, I don't think we can go in and take council salary. So, I mean, if they decide they want to give some salary back or not take their raise, those budgets do include the raises, and somebody had mentioned not taking raises. So, like I said, after tonight, we can still make changes to that. I know there was continuing conversation between Chelsea and Matt over some subscriptions for council people and whether we could reduce any of those, but some of those things, like in mine, I had to keep a certain amount for training because I'm required to take training to be mayor. So certain things you can't cut out of there because you have to have enough to cover that.
You still have a bill with American Legal that's coming due next year. That's not normally in our budget.
We did for council, I think they cut out laptops maybe, or maybe something along the lines of that maybe they were hoping to purchase.
Okay.
Did make cuts, but maybe it hasn't been the entire 10% yet, because salaries would be one of the only other places that could be taken from.
And then right under that is municipal court, was $2,101,000 and is now at $2,036,000. I mean, that's a far cry from a 10% cut.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The municipal court went from $2,101,000 to $2,036,000. Which is, you know, I'm just saying, if we're expecting these guys to take a 10% cut, then why in the world can't everybody take it? That's just, you know, I mean, especially when I asked the question last Monday, was every single department taking this? And the answer was yes. And then we find out that the answer is no. And I'm not, you know, and I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying that's what we were told.
That's
And,
correct.
you know, and that's not what's here.
So I think what the courts did too is they moved some of their general fund money to some of the other funds that they had. And that was their way of kind of moving things around to help some of that. They originally had taken 130 something less. And then they went back in the second time and that was what they had come up with.
Their budget initially this year, when we met, like we have to do, we have to meet with them and go over their budget, was $133,000, I think, less than it was last year.
Now, the original, that's what I was told, in the original report that we had her, it was $30-some thousand more. Because I was expecting a $100,000 cut, because
Right.
Well, that was before this second round though. Does that answer your question?
They ended up being able to get grant money to pay like a whole salary or something that they haven't been able to before for their probation, I think. So that's how they were able to reduce the 133, I think, going into the budget cycle before any of the cuts were made in addition to that.
So, are you saying that the 2030, I can't even tell if it's a 38 or 36, or the 2 million,
$2,036,168.
are you saying that that is less because there is additional revenue coming in from grants?
I don't know.
You know,
I'm not sure how.
You know, I've
Their
served.
budget was less, and whether it was because they got a grant for a salary or not, I'm not sure.
You know, I have served here long enough to remember when we had Judge Finnegan here. And at that point, the municipal court budget was around $700,000 a year. And he returned money at the end of every year. And there were 2 years, he actually returned more than he took. So the municipal court was actually a revenue generator for the city a few of the years that he was judge. But at the end of the year, because of the money that was returned, the municipal court was a cost to the general fund of less than $250,000 every year under Judge Finnegan. The way that it works now, it has ballooned from $700,000 to over $2 million, and they return nothing. And they create all these little special revenue line items, and they have expanded to where they are like busting at the seams on not only the second, but the third floor of City Hall. And you can't grow at that kind of a level. And, I have my own personal opinion as of how that they do it, and I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to the entire citizenry how that it's done. But we have certain departments and certain employees that have taken advantage of the system, and you can't keep having that.
I understand what you're saying. I think it would require somebody to be here from the court to answer that. I can't really answer for I know about their budget, what they spend, but I certainly don't know the in and out details of their budget.
We for years have had an attitude with the court that we can't tell the court what to do. They can order the budget, they can order their own budget. And I have had conversations, and in reality, they can't. There is a distinct difference between a municipal court judge and a common pleas court judge. And there is a distinct difference between a municipal court judge that is self-funding and a municipal court judge that feeds off the general fund. And a municipal court judge that feeds off the general fund has the lowest amount of what they're able to do of any judge out there. And that's what we have here. But yet we let her push us around and order budgets and overspend every single year. And I was one of the two council people when Mayor Schertzer tried to line item veto $100,000 out of her budget, and she used tax dollars to sue the city that she serves and used her own budget to hire an attorney to do that, and was at the court with her in Columbus for an entire day.
I appreciate all that. I appreciate the history of that. All I can speak from is my experience. The 2 years that I've been here, I have not had any type of negative relationship with them as far as when we sit and go through the budget. They've always been cooperative and what we've asked them to do, and I will check on the 10% to see exactly where that's at.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I would just say,
And
if this is what she
I don't
gave
know if
you.
they're counting the 130 less from the beginning and then this, but we'll look into that.
Okay.
We've had a lot of numbers going through our head in 7 days.
I mean,
so.
I'll just close with, there's a whole bunch of them on here that are not 10%, and if this is what she gave you as a cooperation to do 10%, she isn't being cooperative with you either.
Okay.
I will just say, just an observation, I don't know anything about it, but if you add 130,000 minus the difference, which was what, 70 or 80,000 we cut this time around, that equals that 210,000, which would be 10%, like 2.1 million. Just a thought, if that's accurate.
And which is money she left in carryover that she should have given back to the general fund, but that's a whole nother.
That's all.
Any other questions?
That's all I have tonight.
I'd made a motion to go ahead and send this to the council. Does anybody want to second it?
I do not.
Yeah, I'll second it.
So, motion was made to send this on to council with no recommendation. Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
No.
Mr. Rattler?
No.
Matters not on the agenda? We're adjourned, 7:24.
Oh, I didn't, and I thought there was more, and I looked through them again, I was like, I don't see them.
They know what we're talking about with revenue.
Oh, I know they know.
Let me know what I'm talking about.